compensations. What to do if we make one of these 9 things of ihram, prohibited in ihram? Well, the vast majority of them, if you do them remembering, knowing, and not forced or compelled, then you have to give the expiation. And it says here, without ejaculation comparison would mean 3 things. It says you have to do one of 3 things. Either you fast 3 days, or you feed 6 people, and these 6 people must be poor, living around the area of Al-Haram, and you feed them half a sa', which is approximately a 1 kilogram and 100 grams, give or take 150 or 125 grams of whatever, rice or flour or anything similar to that. Or the third thing is that you sacrifice a sheep or a ram and distribute the meat. Most people would choose the second one, feeding 6 people a kilo or 1.125 kilograms of rice. This is cheapest, easiest, most convenient, and much less people would choose to feed a ram, which is way more expensive. And in the middle, those who don't afford or can't afford it would probably go for fasting 3 days. It's easier and convenient as well. For hunting or killing a game, the expiation is different. You have to either sacrifice a similar animal. What do you mean, Sheikh? Well, scholars have this comparison according to the companions, where they said that an ostrich, which is a big bird, if you kill it deliberately, then in compensation you have to slaughter a camel. If you kill a rabbit, then you have to slaughter a sheep or a goat. So they say that if it has a similar animal to it, then you have to slaughter that. If it doesn't, then you have to estimate the price of the animal by 2 men coming and judging the issue and say, okay, the animal you have killed, it's not a sheep and it cannot be a camel. It should be estimated as so and so dollars or euros that you have to give in compensation. And the end of this paragraph, they've translated the ayah in chapter 5, Surah Al-Ma'idah, ayah number 95. So this is what the expiation for killing a game. If the game has an animal sacrifice similar to it, then you're giving 3 choices. Either you slaughter a sheep, which is equivalent to a deer maybe, or a rabbit, or the other choice is that you estimate the value of the sacrifice and you give it to the poor by buying each poor 1 sa', that is half a sa' for each poor. So if the amount is $100, let's see how much sa' can $100 buy, and we give half a sa' to as many poor people as there is. Or the third option is that you fast a day in exchange for every poor people you are supposed to give half a sa' to, which means that a lot of days. This is what you're supposed to do when you kill an animal, when you hunt an animal that has an equivalent to it, according to the companions. But if it has no equivalent to it, the companions did not report to us that this is equal to this. In this case, to have to come up with a judgment estimating the value that you have to give in sadaqah, and you have two options: either to buy half a sa' with the money that you were told to give and give it to the poor according to the number, or to fast one day on behalf of every poor you were supposed to feed, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows best. As for sexual intercourse during the pilgrimage before the first release from the ihram, this renders that the pilgrimage is invalid, as I stated. And as I stated, this is before the first tahallul. Further compensation is required, including repentance, sacrificing a camel, making up for the missed or for the pilgrimage on the following year. And this is done after the first release. If this was done after the first, before the first release of the consecration, but if it was done afterwards, then again you have to give a sacrifice and distribute the meat to the poor round the Kaaba, round the Haram area. The only thing that has no expiation from these 7 things, as mentioned, as the jurors say, is when you make a proposal for marriage in the state of ihram, or you get married, and when you cut green grass or plants. There isn't any expiation mentioned for that, though it is sinful and though it is one of the things prohibited in ihram, and Allah Azza wa Jal knows